Morning campers. Well, you won't believe it looking at this, but we've had nothing but rain for about 7 or 8 days down here. So we haven't been able to do the jobs we wanted to do this week. So what we'll do now is we'll go have a walk around, show you what we wanted to do, what we're going to do. But stay till the end, we've got some absolutely brilliant news end of this video, so keep watching to the end. Made life a little bit hard for myself really, starting a channel in the middle of winter when we're closed. The ground's a little bit soft, so we can't really get on to do anything in the fields. But yeah, we'll have a walk around and discuss the jobs we're going to do over the winter and the sort of videos you can expect to see coming up. This is the paddock, dog exercise area, leisure area, whatever you want to call it really, what we want to use it for. Like I say, we moved in just 12 months ago, and like the big kid I am, we'd ordered a sort of tractor and a 1.8 metre finishing mower. A few days after we moved in, it got delivered about 3 or 4 days after we moved in, I believe. When we moved in, the old owners left us the sit-on lawnmower that they used to use. It was just a 52-inch bed, sit-on petrol lawnmower that they used to cut all the paddock with, the campsite and everything. But like I say, like a big kid I was, probably around about 20th of November last year, the grass were quite long, probably about similar to what it is now. I thought, oh, we'll try the new lawnmower out. Got on the lawnmower, cut the grass at 30 centimetres, I think it was, or something like that. Far too short really for coming up to December. And it left quite a lot of grass on the grass, the cuttings. And we ended up sort of January with quite a lot of dead grass, and it looked really untidy. So I've been sort of working all this year to try and get this paddock to come back green and lush again really, and I think we're just about getting there. So we're not going to touch this over the winter. I'm going to leave it well sorted March, and then what we'll do is we'll probably do a 60-70mm cut, then a 50mm cut, and then a week later maybe a 30mm cut again. Then we don't have big clumps of grass that we have to collect, just little grass cuttings that'll just rot into the existing soil. So yeah, that's the paddock, that's the job for next January. Yeah, back in July, earlier in the year, we've got a little pond in this garden, in a sort of private garden, only 2.5-3 metres by 2 metres maybe a couple of foot deep. Anyway, we noticed, or Julia noticed, we were getting 2 ducks sort of arriving every morning, floating about on the pond, a male and a female, and we thought, oh, they'd maybe just come to mate and everything. Anyway, they stayed, kept coming back for about a month or so. So Julia, in her wisdom, we need to get them an house. So she bought this house off Amazon. I'll show you a quick clip of that in a minute. Anyway, I'd call it more of a maisonette than a house, to be honest, but she bought it, we put it there, the ducks saw it, and we never saw the ducks again. So, in my wisdom, I thought, we've got a bit of a corner in the top of the field, some sort of in the wooded part, and we don't really know what to do with it. I bought a mini digger just because we'd quite a few jobs to do, putting the water in as we did earlier in the year, and so I thought rather than having to hire one, I got a pretty good deal on one, so we bought one. Again, like the big kid, I need to dig a hole. So up in the top corner, I decided, why don't we have a wildlife pond? See if we can attract some wildlife, some ducks, some newts, anything really. So yeah, we'd come up to here and we decided to dig a hole and build a wildlife pond. And this is how far I got. You can't really see, really, I don't suppose, but it's a couple of foot deep by probably 3 metres. And that's as far as I got. I dug the hole. So one of the projects over the winter is to continue, get a liner. We were hoping if we left it long enough it might fill on its own, but it's no chance. It drains so well, does this land. So yeah, we're going to get a liner, landscape it a little bit, fill it, and see what we can get from in the way of wildlife. If there's any pond builders out there, anything, you'd probably advise me, but it's probably the wrong place to build one, really. It's covered with trees, so I'll probably spend most of October, November dragging leaves out of it. But like I say, it's just a bit of wasteland that we didn't really know what to do with. So it's either a job of, like I say, completing it or filling it back in and coming up with plan B. Yeah, so we just walked back down. Just want to make a point really, just saying a massive thank you to my son Callum. We sort of come up with this idea a couple of weeks ago, and the amount of hours he's put in sorting the social media pages out for this channel, and the editing, he does all the editing, I do the easy bit really, just the video, and I just download it and send him it, and then he puts the video together, and that's what you see as a finished product. And I'm blown away really with how good he's doing it. I mean, he did actually take photography at school, and he actually got a GSE in photography. So we may have found his true vocation in life. So in the summer, up at the top of the paddock, we normally have some benches, a couple of picnic benches really, and we try and encourage people to sort of come up and sort of watch the sunset, have a picnic. Me and Julia's done it many a time. Got a glass of wine, cheese and crackers, and just sit up here and watch the sunset. It's absolutely fantastic. So we normally have the benches between the trees, and it's if it's red hot, it's absolutely brilliant. And then just behind where we have the benches, we've got this tree line. We've got this little corner here that's a little bit untidy. So one of the jobs for the winter, I'm thinking of maybe just taking some of these shrubs out and these trees, putting a bit of a gravel base in, some sleepers, and I want some sort of seating area, whether it be a large bench swing or a large bench, or even a table and chairs, and it's somewhere for visitors to come up and have a photo opportunity, or again sit, have a talk, sit on the swing and watch the beautiful sunset. Oops, tripped over the curb then. So yeah, here we are in the sort of car park area really, the main entrance. As you're coming through the gate, you come down to the left and you end up in this, which is our main sort of car park entrance area. So yeah, there's a bit of work we want to do over here, around this area over the winter period, and we'll show you what we're doing. So one of the jobs is to widen this entrance into the paddock. At the minute it's around about 10 foot wide, and we have thought about having caravan rallies and things like that at some points maybe, I don't know, or events that we can run, you know, maybe 2 or 3 a year, with the correct planning. But if we were to take 2 or 3 foot off one of these edges, you only got to go back 6 inch, and even that, and they're just brown and they just don't seem to want to come back. So we're thinking of taking this hedge and this edge behind the stored benches, taking them out completely, putting a couple of 8 foot wood gates in, and a wood fence. It'd open it up so when you drove in you'd see the paddock, and it'd give us better access in and out, and we could make this car park hard standing area a little bit bigger as well. And then what we want to do, we've got a shed that we've got within this garden, or a summer house should we call it. We've done some modifications to that over the summer, but we're just not using it. So what we want to do is where these benches are stored into the fence line there, as you come in, is put this rather large summer house there, and that'll become the campsite reception and information area. At the minute we're using the toilet, the larger toilet, with a table in there, and it's got the flyers on it, the leaflets, the notice board, the suggestion cards. But we'd have this down here. This is where you could check in, and we'd leave it open. All the information you need would be there, maps, everything that you need to enjoy your stay down here at Halfway House. Do you want to come and have a look? So this is the shed. We haven't touched it since we moved in, to be honest, apart from we've fitted UPVC doors to it and glass. So the plan is dismantle it, move it round where we're going to remove the trees from, insulate it all, lighting, reboard it internally, and then we can have it for all this information. Maybe a little desk, I don't know. At the minute, where we're doing when people check in, we just literally, obviously, the cameras pick anybody up that comes through the gate. We know somebody's coming, and then we're walking out with the welcome pack. It'd be nice for them to have a reception to come into. We can give them the welcome pack rather than handing it through the car window. And then any information they want on cycle routes or local taxis, buses, anything really, it'll all be on display here, and they can come and use this as they need. So yeah, that's the plan. So we'll get it dismantled and we'll get it moved around there. And as we walk through into the orchard, this is an area that we don't use for visitors at the minute, but we have got some plans for this, whether they're going to be this year, next year or the year after. So we've got some apples left on the apple tree, but we've got pear trees, apple trees, cherry trees, and one of the options we could do, or what we thought, is when we create the fence that we just spoke about, is create an archway through this rather large edge. And then maybe have sort of a well-being area where people can rent that for a number of hours attached to the stay, with a sauna, a hot tub, a summer house with maybe some facilities in it, sink, kettle, fridge, and you can hire it for a few hours or an evening. Again, south facing, great in the summer, absolutely brilliant area. But again, that's a long-term plan. It's not something we're going to see this winter. But yeah, it's definitely a plan on the cards, and especially when we get the new power supply in, it'll give us a little bit of scope to have the sauna and the hot tub, which the hot tub, we were going to go wood-fired, but I think we're going to go propane gas, just because we've been told wood-fired, as though they are quirky. There's a lot of work in cleaning them out, and people sort of tend to load them up too much. with the wood, and you end up boiling yourself, you'll come out like a Brussels sprout. So yeah, we've got a little bit more control of the temperature with the gas-fired ones. Yeah, another one of the jobs we want to do is, obviously we've got this drinking water here, and since we've put the water to each pitch, it's not getting used now, but because we've got the water here, we thought we'd fit a washing up area. I mean, we're motorhomes ourselves, and I know how hard it is to wash a 30cm paella pan in a caravan or a motorhome sink. So plan is stainless steel sink, hot water, putting hot water boiler in, and then a canopy. Obviously, if weather's if it's raining, you're sort of protected from the rain and the wind. We've just got to work out how we get the wastewater up to the tank, because we're not on mains drains here. But yeah, I'm sure there's a way of doing it. So that's one of the jobs as well for early next year, hopefully before we open in March. So yeah, that's another one. So another less glamorous job to do is, obviously this is a breeze block built garage sheds cladded in wood. When we moved in, these were like cedar wood, red colour, and she didn't like them, didn't Julia? She wanted them obviously a lighter colour. I must have painted them 6 times to get that coat on there, and you can see it's not so bad in the sun, but when it's a bit dull like this, you can just see it needs another couple of coats really. But the wood, really, we might get another 18 months out of it, 2 a year, but the plan is to strip all that off, back to the breeze block, and then render it. That's a job for somebody else. It's not a job that I want to tackle myself. I'm not a plasterer, not a renderer. But there's quite a big area to do, and then have it a nice light colour. It'll just brighten the place up a little bit, I think. So yeah, that's one of the jobs, but that's probably for a contractor rather than for ourselves. We like to try and do what we can ourselves on site. Everything's learning. Every day's a learning day, as I say, and it definitely has been this last 12 months. Obviously around here we've got the Elson point. There's not really much to do with this. We sort of gave it a bit of a service last year and cleaned down and repainted it. Put this panel up. That's a privacy panel. It's done all summer. It needs a lick of paint in the new year to sort of brighten that up a little bit. But yeah, when you were on pitch 1 and 2, you could see straight into this area. And we thought if you sat out having a meal, a barbecue, somebody off another pitch comes around with their Elson toilet and starts emptying it, it's not really what you want to see when you're having a meal. So we put this privacy screen up, and hopefully it's worked quite well. So yeah, so there's not much to do around here, luckily. Yeah. So yeah, this is our motorhome actually. We haven't used it this year really. I think we went away in it once at the beginning of the year. We've used it for as business, as other business. But yeah, we need to start using it a little bit in winter really. I think early next year we're going to sell it and maybe downsize. I fancy a van conversion. We bought this when there were 4 of us with kids going, but obviously they don't come along anymore now. They've grown up and moved on. But yeah, but this area we were thinking about, maybe we've got water here, we were thinking maybe concreting this bit and making it into a motorhome service point, but I'm not so sure whether we need one now. Now we've put water onto every pitch, you can fill up with water and everything, drain your water before you actually pull off your pitch. So unless we were to have like an air type system where people came that, because you can't actually stay in your motorhome in Louth Centre at the cattle market. These water emptying places there, but some people do like to sort of wild camp, and they like to see places advertised where they can empty the water, fill up with water, empty the toilet. So yeah, we could do that, but it means you've got to be in all the time and everything. So whether we do a service point, I'm not so sure yet. It's food for thought anyway. But yeah, we'll keep going. Yeah, so there we go. That's some, not all, but some of the jobs I want to do this winter, and hopefully we'll video them all, document them all, and hope you all enjoy them. And if you've anything you think we've missed, or if anybody sees any ideas that we can, that think it's an easier way to do that, or why don't you do that, please leave them in the comments, because we're new to this. We're by no means experts whatsoever. So yeah, everything's a learning curve, and every day's a learning day. That's what I say. Right, that's enough of me waffling on. You've seen enough of me walking around. Let's crack on and get some work done. Let's get these benches moved, and then we can get these trees ripped out. Right guys, we've got these benches moved. Apologies, that's all we got done this week. The weather has been horrific, but the weather's turned today, so we're going to get stuck in, ripping the edges out, so that'll be in next week's video. So hopefully there should be some action for you all. But good news is, I promise you some good news. We've got a brand new website that's gone live today, or live as of now as you're watching this video, www.halfwayhousetouring.co.uk. And the even better news is, there's a booking button on there. You can book direct, you can see availability. Get yourself booked on. We've had a massive influx of interest for next year. That's why we've had to bring it forward, probably about a month. We were going to go middle of December to early January. But we've gone live now, so people are booking. Get yourself booked on, and we can't wait to meet you all. See you all in 2026. We'll see you next week for some edges. Cheers, guys.